was very frustrating for me.
You were facing a lot of obstacles. Welcome to a new episode of Endoscopy Essential. Today I'm with Professor Pradeep Bhandari from Portsmouth, and I'm very happy because I can ask a lot of things to him about his bio and his history. So tell us, Pradeep, how everything started, why we're here.
Thank you, Roberta. I think I don't know how long you have, but my journey started a long time ago. I qualified in medicine from a small place called Jodhpur in Rajasthan, northern state of India. And we did residency in internal medicine. And then I wanted to do cardiology or gastroenterology.
Oh, okay.
So I took national exams. I went to, at that time it's called Bombay. Now it's called Mumbai. And unfortunately, I didn't get gastro, I got neurology. But super specialization was the thing. Mm-hmm. If you want to get anywhere in life, you have to super specialize. Beggars can't be choosers. I had neurology. I didn't have any other choice. So I took it.
Okay.
And I started, it's a 2-year super specialization course. I started neurology and I was working as a senior resident and very academic department.
So you did it. You're also a neurologist.
I took
I didn't know.
No, so I started and it's a very academic department. Every day of the week, there was a multidisciplinary meeting. Neuropathology, neurocytology, neuroradiology, God knows what neuro. And when you are a senior resident, it's your job to find the patient, to do the complete workup, read the literature, and present.
Okay.
Every day. Keep going, presenting. And I'm on this cycle looking, and we're having very, very clever discussion. This is the level of the lesion is C6, C7, saying, no, it's C8, C9, this, that, all kinds of clever discussions going on. And I used to watch all these big neurologists arguing with each other, coming to, you didn't get, no, that reflex is fast, that's brisk, so this is an upper motor, this is lower motor. It's fascinating for a while, but then I go back to the ward.
Okay.
I see my patient. I spend 2 hours taking his history. I spent the whole night reading about it. I spent the whole afternoon with these big intellectual people discussing it. And when I go back to the ward, I have nothing to offer to the patient.
Yeah, it was not practical.
No, it was very frustrating for me. So I got very frustrated.
And I think also for the patient.
Yeah, exactly. In those days, there was not a lot that you can do in neurology. I'm talking back in, 94, 93. So I decided I'm going to get out of this. So I took advice from seniors and they said US is the place to go. So, okay, we did USMLE. And in India, bosses are God. Like how in your ex-department, your boss is like a god. Our bosses, all in India, all department bosses are gods. If God doesn't like something and you do something, your career is finished.
Okay.
And our God did not like anybody doing anything other than super specialization. When you are enrolled and doing, if you are caught reading for US exam, UK exam, or anything else, they finish your career. So I have to keep it very, very quiet.
Very
At
secret.
night time, go and read and do and not tell anybody that what I'm doing, and very secretly took the exam, passed the exam, and then applied online to various residencies. And I got sitting in India, I got an offer for an internal medicine residency in New York. I went for visa and visa was refused.
Oh.
And that's another God.
Sure.
These home office people are God. No one can question them. No court can question them. No one.
So they give you no reason why they are refusing.
I asked them, I said, look, this is my USMLE result. This is my job offer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not illegally immigrating. Mm-hmm. I have a job offer. I'm a doctor. Said, no. No means no. Leave this place. I was so disappointed, but you can't do anything. So what do? You either become very bitter and grumble and get twisted and moan about it.
Or you react.
Yeah. So I then started talking to people. I said, what do you do? And so people advised me that, why don't you go to England? There's a test called PLAB test. Do a PLAB test. If you pass PLAB test, you can get registration with General Medical Council. And there's always jobs in England. You'll find a job. So if you do your PLAB, get a job, and then apply, because you're now living in UK, you'll be applying from UK to go to US, you will have a higher status than.
But you wanted to go abroad, or you just forced because you cannot do gastro there?
I could not see any avenue for me to do gastro in India.
Okay.
Super competitive.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to go abroad to do gastro. And second reason was, in India, even now, those days even more, if you want to become Mr. Somebody, you have to go and train abroad.
Okay.
If you haven't trained abroad,
It's like your business card for
yes,
entry,
exactly.
let's say.
So I was just watching how the world works, and you reflect on those things and you develop a strategy. So I then took that advice. I came to England, and England was very expensive. Exam was very expensive. You couldn't do the exams abroad. You have to come to England to do the exam. I borrowed a lot of money.
Yeah, visa is not an issue.
No, they give you travel visa.
Okay.
No problem at all.
Okay.
I came, did the exam, and they have 8 different components. I passed 7. I got stuck in the 8th component, which was slides, picture test. I couldn't, because they show you all these dermatology slides. I do not understand pathology slides. And then I said, well, we can't give up. Let's apply straight away. I applied for the next test, and they gave me such a long waiting time, they're 5 months. Oh my God. I looked at my pocket. I had only about £280 left. I had now 6 months to survive in England with £280 in my pocket. I said, what do I do? Let's go back. And I said, I did have a return ticket.
Okay.
So I didn't have to pay. I could fly back. But I knew if I fly back, I will not be able to afford to come back.
Okay.
Yeah, because I used all my resources to borrow the money. I blew up the money. I go back as a failure, nothing to show. And the whole circle starts again. I said, let's persevere. So I went to the hospital and say, look, I could blah, blah, blah. Can I be an observer? I'll just come and observe. And they said, oh, okay, yeah, you can come. It's a little place called Hartlepool in north of England.
Okay.
I started doing, because I'd done medical residency, and all the guys on the ward were very junior. So on the ward round, I started saying, after 3-4 weeks, you begin to talk. But you're very hesitant. You're a foreigner. You don't speak very good English. The local guys didn't know anything, but were very fluent. They know how to talk. So you just stay shut up. But then after 3-4 weeks, I started talking. I said, wow, you don't need to do CT scan. This is an upper motor neuron lesion. I have spent a year looking at these things. So this is that. And they were very impressed. And he said, oh, you're very good. Why you don't get a job? I said, well, I can't get a job because there's no PLAB. Oh, gosh, that's very unfair. I said, that's very kind of you. But at the moment, I don't have a roof on my head. Can you please help me and ask the accommodation officer to give me free accommodation? I'll stay in a corridor. Oh, okay. He said, okay, I'll make some phone calls. And he phoned a few people and said, okay, it's sorted. There is like a janitor room, which is not being used. You can stay there free. Oh, it's a lottery for me. That's all I was looking for. And then I calculated, I can't spend more than £40 in a month to get to my exam, because I have to buy a ticket to Edinburgh to do my exam. So I budgeted myself, and I survived for 6 months at £40 a month.
Wow. And
passed my exam. And then this journey starts in UK. Although I'd done a residency, but you have to do all over again, which is fine. I did MRCP, and I said, if I get MRCP, it will be a lot easier for me to get a US visa. That dream hadn't gone.
Okay, so the US was still there.
I was still
so
heading
you were
to
planning
US.
in a different way to arrive there. Okay.
I said, if I get MRCP, I'll be a very valued member of the society. They're not going to question me, and they'll give me the visa. So I did the MRCP, and then I said, let's apply for US visa. And then fortunately or unfortunately, whatever you think, a job came up on the same hospital where I was, and some registrar fell ill, and they said, Pradeep, you're so good. Why don't you become an acting registrar? I said, but I need to do 3 years of this junior job. No, 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 no. Yeah. You know, when there's crisis, they
You skip it definitely.
yeah.
Wow.
So he said, why don't you do the registrar job? You're very good. I said, well, I can't do central line. Don't worry, call me. My consultant said, I'll help you, blah, blah, blah. I took the registrar job. And then, you know, in England, job is controlled hours. There's a lot of support, all that.
Can I ask you one thing? Sorry to interrupt you, because it was a nice flow. But at the same time, I want to know what gave you the strength to not giving up? Was just the expectation from the others, so not coming back,
Yes.
being a failure, or your aspiration, or both?
Well, the biggest pressure was that I had borrowed a lot of money to come there. My father was a very eminent lawyer, but he was a freedom fighter. And those days, British used to rule India, and he fought against the British. When I was leaving and coming here, my dad said to me, Pradeep, I fought against Brits and got them out of India. I don't mind you going there, but I think the only thing they know best is to talk. I'm not sure what skills you're going to get, but learn their talking skill, because they rule the world by talking.
Oh, okay.
I still think about that a lot of time when I'm in England and I hear my colleagues and various people talking, and I see, gosh,
He was right.
he was so right. How you can polish and talk so well when deep inside you still don't have much stuff. But outside you can present so well. It's a huge skill. It is an acquired skill. Not everybody has. But I think in England, people are trained right from the beginning. Somehow the culture is there, and people are very good at talking.
It's a sort of growing an attitude for all the people.
Exactly. So that was, coming back to your question, there were so many pressures on me. My dad telling me there's nothing much to learn, and I fought against him. I said, no, Dad, your time was different. This time is different. This is my journey. Please don't obstruct this. Don't do that. So I fought against him. And he said, well, I'm not going to support you. You can go if you want, but I'm not going to support you to go to England. He had 3 broken fingers. He used 3 rings in his 3 fingers. They're all broken. He said, when they locked me up in prison and beat me up, this is what happened. See, they broke my fingers. So you expect me to pay for your trip and support you while you're there? Forget about it. So that was the pressure. I borrowed a lot of money from my sisters and cousins. And then my own aspiration of doing gastroenterology. I wanted to do gastro and do a technique, a procedure related thing, and develop that. So all these things were coming together.
At that time, you didn't have a lot of procedure. There was ERCP. And,
no, it wasn't. But endoscopy was still a procedure. ERCP was the big thing, and I wanted to learn those.
Okay.
So that kept me going, and I did MRCP. I got this registrar job, and I became lazy. I said, if I go to US, I have to start doing general medicine, 3 more years of internal medicine.
So it's no more a dream.
And I just became lazy. I said, why don't I find gastroenterology here? And I started applying for gastroenterology. I didn't realize that gastro and cardiology was super competitive in UK.
Okay.
They don't give gastro and cardiology. I kept on applying, no interviews, and then you get interview, and even within 2 minutes of interview starting, you know that they're not going to give you a job. I started getting that sixth sense. The way you look at me, the way you question me, the way when I'm answering you looking somewhere else, I know that I'm being used to tick some box or something here. So I did about 12 interviews and didn't get anywhere.
And how is the system now? Is it similar? Because now you are the one who makes it.
It's very, very different. It's very different. I'm so grateful things have changed so much, because it's a very different system now. And then finally, I took up a research job. I realized that the way to score points here is to do some research. So I found somebody, started working on Helicobacter pylori. And we started looking at cyclooxygenase 1, cyclooxygenase 2, H. pylori, and had a couple of posters. And now I put that on my CV, and I got shortlisted again. And same region where I was doing this research job, and I was doing with the same person and he was the program director of gastroenterology.
Okay.
So I thought this is the luckiest day.
Yeah.
So I have the interview call for next day, and I get a call at 8 o'clock at night from the chair of our program.
The day before.
Day before. And he says to me, "Oh, Pradeep, I just looking at the list, I saw your name, you've been shortlisted, you're coming for interview tomorrow." And I said, "Yes, I am. I'm so excited. Have you got some tips for me?" And he said, "Yes. I've been chair of the program committee for 14 years. And I can tell you that in 14 years, I've never appointed a foreigner in gastro."
Oh, come on.
I said, "Oh, what does that mean?"
It's like that all the sign in your life was saying,
Yeah.
not doing this journey.
Exactly. I said, "Oh." I said, "Oh, what does that mean?" He said, "That means that you're not going to get a gastro job." I said, "But I've been shortlisted." I said, "We shortlist lots of people, but we don't give jobs to all of them." I said, "But you are the boss." He said, "That's why I'm talking to you. I am the boss. I know. And you're such a nice guy. I really love you. You work so hard. You have very good work ethics. So I really want to be frank and open and help you." I said, "Then help me. Give me some tips." He said, "Here is the tip. Decide you want to stay in England or you want to do gastro. If you want to stay in England, which is what most immigrants want to do, I have a lot of friends up north. Go up north, apply for geriatrics. Maybe then move on from there into gastro. There might be a scope because a lot of elderly care physicians in those days used to do endoscopy.
Okay.
And you might get trained in endoscopy somewhere. If you want to stay down south, there is no scope other than geriatrics. That's all you'll be able to do." I said, "Oh, this doesn't sound good." He said, "Yes, but I don't want you to be disappointed, so I thought I'd let you know." He said, "That's very kind of you." He said, "Okay, so I can cross your name off." I said, "No, don't cross my name off." "Oh, well, but you're not going to get a job." I said, "Yeah, so you told me, I'm so happy. You told me already, I'm not going to get a job. I haven't had an interview experience like that with 12 people sitting in front of me, interviewing me. It will be good experience for me."
So you weren't there more relaxed with no expectation.
Yeah, exactly. "Are you wasting your time? We'll be wasting our time." I said, "I know, but I am being shortlisted. I really want to come." I said, "Well, it's your problem. Come, no problem. Come." So I was on Isle of Wight, a little island, took the ferry with the consultant who was working there. He was a very nice guy from Mauritius, but was born when he was 8. He had moved to England, so he was like almost British. Very nice, but he also had suffered various things in his life. So he was super nice to me. He said, "I'll take you in my car. Let me buy you lunch. Let's go this, that." I get interviewed. There are 3 posts. 9 of us get interviewed. And then 12 people score this. And they, when they
It
score.
was not the only one deciding.
No.
Okay.
No. So 12 people. And they added up everybody's score. I scored second on the list. But they didn't want to give me the job. So they said, "Oh, well, I think these are the 3 people who really deserve. I know today on the day they didn't perform very well, but let's be sensible and let's give the job to these 3 people." That's the program director saying. So this guy with whom I was working in Isle of Wight, he was in his last year of retirement and he had suffered a lot. He put his foot down and he said, "You can't do that." He said, "What do you mean you can't do that?" He said, "No, I've canceled my whole day of clinical work to come and do these interviews to select the right candidate.
And to select the best.
To select the best. And what is this? This was a show. If you already knew that these are the 3 people, why did you arrange the interview? Why did I cancel whole day of my work? Why did you bring all these people for interviews?" This is how it works. It doesn't matter. I know we should give it to the most deserving. So he said, "How do you know the guy who scored second is not deserving?" "Well, I know he's not. There are other people who are more deserving. It's our own candidate don't get the job. Where are they going to go? So just calm down." Listen. And he said, "Look, I'm going to take a picture of the score sheet. I'm going to go to the newspaper.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, there was just shock there everywhere. And outside we are sitting and they come and tell us that, oh, go home. We'll tell
But
you
who did
tomorrow.
you tell you this?
No, so I don't know anything. This is
Okay,
going
so
on
later
there.
on you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
it.
yeah. Because I can't go back to the island because I took lift with the consultant who's sitting in the boardroom having all this. So they said, go. I said, I can't go because the consultant with whom I can go is sitting inside. He said, okay, then go out for coffee. Come back in half an hour. I said, okay, I went out. And then I come back half an hour, they're still not out. Then an hour later, they come out and he's very angry. And he said, let's go. I said, oh, what happened? He said, well, you haven't got the job. I'll tell you later. And on the ferry back, he tells me all this story.
Okay.
And he said, you know, they called my ex-boss, they called everybody, the whole world was calling me. So there were 11 against me, so I had to give up, unfortunately. So you haven't got the job. But they promised me on paper that when the next job comes up, they will give it to you without interview. But he said, I don't believe these people. Okay? Just go and find another job. This is how it works, so don't believe. But to cut the long story short, the next job comes up in 6 months and I get a call.
And they give it to you? Whoa. So this one was a real sponsor and mentor to you.
He was really, really nice person who had gone through a journey like this himself. So he wanted to put his foot down, make a difference, to change. And he did change. Because if he hadn't made a fuss, I wouldn't have become a gastroenterologist.
Yeah.
I would be doing geriatric medicine somewhere.
Or neuro still.
Yeah, neuro. But this is very interesting in life. Again, as I say, these things, you know, you can get bitter, you can get twisted and get angry with the world. Or you just learn from it and say, well, I can't change the system, I can't change the world. But how can I understand this system so that I can get ahead?
Okay.
If I fight, I will lose. There's no chance of me winning. I can't change those people. They are a lot more powerful than me. In an ideal world, yes. When I tell this story to my daughter, they say, you can't put up with this. This is unfair. Why you didn't go to court? Why you didn't? Okay, yes, I hear all that. Right at that point, my vision was not to change the world, not to change you, not to change the society. My vision was to go ahead somehow. So I got there and then we started the gastro training, and then ERCP was the pinnacle of gastro training. Year 1, no ERCP. Year 2, no ERCP. We have annual reviews. We go to the annual review. I said, I won't do ERCP. I will do next year. We'll do next year. Year 3, no ERCP. Year 4, I go back because it's a 5-year training program. Year 4, I go and in my review, I say, you've been promising me for the last 3 years that next year you'll get ERCP training. Every year they're refusing. I'm not getting any ERCP. The same guy who was the program director, he was still the program director. He said to me, you know, I'm fed up of you talking about this for 3 years. I've had enough of this. Let me put it to you this way. You know, when you came from Pakistan or wherever you came from, in that country, if they can afford to buy a simple gastroscope, you should feel very happy. So you told us when you were appointed that your vision was to go back after gastro training. So why don't you focus on what your country can sustain, learn that and go back, forget about ERCP. I got very angry, very, very angry. What? And I said, doctor, when was the last time you went to India? Oh, what has that got to do with it? I said, because I think you do not know what is happening in India. The CT scan for which you wait here for 6 weeks or 4 weeks, it happens the same day where I was working. MRI scan where we have to send patient to another hospital, it happens within 2 hours if you need it where I was working. You know, you're talking about ERCP, I work with the person who was doing ERCP on a regular basis. I have no time for all this nonsense. I realize I'm not winning here. So in the whole 5 years, I got 38 ERCPs. So I knew I can't get there. So I started thinking, what do I do?
Oh, yeah.
And I went to some meeting where I saw these crazy Japanese doctors doing this crazy stuff of ESD. Nobody knew that. What is this? And we were gobsmacked. What is this? I said, this is interesting.
So you mean that in your story, because if I can just try to summarize as a flow, you were facing a lot of obstacles. You never gave up, but you were looking at the at other opportunities on not to change the world, but to arrive to your point.
Exactly. I was just trying to understand the system to see somehow I can work around. Can I do research? Can I please you? And then ultimately you realize this is not working. So let's find some other niche area.
Yeah.
Because I already knew that although I got the number, getting the job is another different game.
Yeah.
I'm the wrong color, wrong nationality, in the wrong place. Who's going to employ me? So I need to do something special for my own survival.
To make the difference.
Yeah. And to do some special technique, not just push gastroscope and colonoscope for the rest 40 years or 50 years of my life.
Because everybody was doing it that
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
So, but what's the main message for the people who are watching and listening to us?
I think, when you face any challenge, when the world wants to shut you down, when people want to push you down, don't go bitter, don't become twisted, don't become angry. Reflect on it. Take a step back and try to understand why they're doing it. And then see, is there a way around this? If not, I change my path and goes another way, find another path. It's very difficult. It requires very cool head. It requires a lot of maturity to make a decision like that. But that's what you have to do. Otherwise, you just try to fight and become angry.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
And more angry the more you fight.
Exactly. But you see, I see that as a blessing. To me, people like those, they made my career. If it hadn't because of them, if they'd given me the ERCP opportunity, I would have never gone to Japan. I would have never learned ESD. You wouldn't be sitting here today talking to me. So I'm very grateful. I'm honestly very grateful. And when I came back from Japan and started doing, this same person who denied me everything was sending patients to me.
Oh, wow. This is the perfect end of this story. Thank you, Pradeep. It was a pleasure to understand how to deal with obstacles in life. Personally, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Pleasure.